Okay, this is a follow-up video to a previous video I had posted about an issue that I was having with my Hope V4 brakes with Tech 3 levers. And I'll put a link to that original video in this one if you want to go back and watch that if you haven't seen it. But really the only reason I posted that first video was because when I contacted Hope about the issue I was having, I put a link to that video in the email because I thought it would be easier for them just to watch the video than for me to try to describe what was happening. But quite a few people ended up watching that video, and several people commented on it. A few people commented and just asked if I had figured out what the problem was and what I did to correct it. And a few other people had commented with what they thought the problem was. And that video was posted about 6 months ago, and even recently I've had a few more comments on it, so I thought it might be easier to just do a follow-up video, and hopefully anyone who's still curious or wondering what the problem was, hopefully this video will maybe answer any questions or clear anything up. So just a warning, this probably won't be the most exciting video because I'm just going to be talking through all of it, but if you're interested or even just curious to know what the problem and what the solution was, stay tuned. So one of the nice things about Hope is that on their website they have instructions and technical information about pretty much all of their products, and this is an exploded view of the Tech 3 master cylinder, which is what I have. And at first, again, I'll put a link to that first video and you can go back and watch that and see what was actually happening. But some people who commented thought that I just had air in the system, and that's what I thought at first as well. So when you first get the brakes, they come pre-bled, but then when I installed them, I shortened the lines, so I bled them after that just to make sure I didn't have any air in the system. But the front brake was still acting up a little bit, so I bled them again. I think I bled them 3 times total, just to make absolutely sure there was no air in the system. And I bled them properly per what Hope recommends and rolled the diaphragm and did the whole process. So I was pretty certain there was no air in the system, and I figured it had to be something else. And when Hope responded to me, which they responded quickly, which was nice, they said that they suspected it was the primary seal on the piston. So you've got the piston here that the lever pushes on whenever you squeeze the lever, and there's 2 seals, the primary seal and the secondary seal. And what was happening with mine was that the oil somehow was leaking past this primary seal. So I could make the brakes, I could just pump the lever over and over and make the brakes so that the lever was pulled all the way in, but they weren't grabbing, the pads weren't grabbing the disc at all. And that's because there was oil leaking past this primary seal and it couldn't build any pressure. So it wasn't air in the system, it was the fact that there was oil leaking past this primary seal. And these 2 seals, there's something different about them because they are 2 different part numbers. The primary seal part number ends in 09, and the secondary seal part number ends in 08. So there's something different about them. I'm not sure what it is, if they're a different compound or something like that, but it also looks like the inside diameter of the 2 seals is different. The ID of the secondary seal looks a little bit larger than the ID of the primary seal. And if that's true, this is just a diagram, but it looks that way. And if that's true, they might be doing that just to be able to tell the 2 seals apart. because they're both black in color, they both look the same from the outside. So having a different inside diameter would be a way to tell them apart. And the other benefit of that is that it would prevent the primary seal from being installed where a secondary seal should go, because the inside diameter would be too small for it to fit, but it would not prevent a secondary seal from being installed where a primary seal should go. And maybe that's what happened with mine. I'm not sure. I didn't try to take the original seals off of the piston on mine to see if it was in fact 2 secondary seals installed instead of a primary and a secondary. And actually, when I did pull out the original piston and seals, everything looked fine. So this is the primary seal right here, and the seal looks okay. There's not any tears on the seal, or I didn't notice any debris trapped in the seal anywhere. So it looks fine to the naked eye. Maybe if I would look at it under a microscope, I could see something. But I'm not sure what the cause of the oil leaking past the seal was. Whether it was 2 secondary seals installed by mistake, or something wrong with the primary seal. Maybe it was just a bad batch of seals. The rubber compound maybe wasn't right. Or maybe there's something I would see under a microscope. But regardless of what it was, that's what the cause of the problem was. The fact that there was oil somehow leaking past that primary seal. And when I contacted Hope, they said that, again, they were quick to respond, which was nice. And they said that because I'm located in the US, and Hope is in the UK, I think anyone outside the UK, as far as warranty work, Hope wants you to send the parts back to where you purchased them. But I ended up purchasing these from an online retailer who's also in the UK. And rather than sending them back and going through the warranty process, because that would have taken time, they said that they could just send me a new piston with seals. So this whole little sub-assembly of the piston and seals, the spring, and then this insert piece in the end, this piece right here that the lever actually pushes on. They sent me that whole piece in the post at no charge, of course, and I just replaced it myself because I said I was willing to do that. And it wasn't too difficult to replace. It did take some special tools, or one special tool at least. And if anyone's interested in seeing that, or just hearing more about actually replacing the piston, I can do another video where I kind of talk through what's involved with that. So let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that, and I can do another video that actually describes changing the piston. But it wasn't too difficult, and then after I changed it, I just bled the brakes again, because you end up losing pretty much all the fluid out of the master cylinder when you pull the piston out. But I just re-bled the brakes, made sure there was no air in the system, and then they've worked perfectly ever since. So no complaints since changing this piston, and I haven't done anything to the brakes either as far as maintenance. I haven't bled them, I haven't had to adjust anything. They've just worked flawlessly. So really happy with these brakes. This little issue I had would not prevent me from buying another set of brakes, another set of Hope brakes in the future for another bike or something. I think it was just an isolated incident, and again, Hope was quick to respond and got a new one to me in the post right away, and I got it changed out, and they've been working great ever since. So that was the cause of the problem. Just to clear that up, and just to kind of explain it in a little bit more detail for anyone who is wondering. So hopefully that was helpful to someone. And I guess the only other thing is that the bike that these are installed on, I am planning to completely disassemble this bike in the next couple months. I'm located in the US, and it's getting to be winter here. We've actually already had a little bit of snow where I'm at, and I don't ride this bike in the winter, so that gives me a chance to do some maintenance and rebuilding on it. And I will be stripping it completely down to the frame and just going through everything and freshening it up. And one of the things I'll be doing is changing all the bearings in the suspension linkages. And I have done that once before, but I'll do some videos of it this time. If anyone's interested in seeing that, I do have a couple of the special tools that make that easier. And then I actually made some of my own tools to do that as well, and they work pretty good for that. So I'll definitely do some videos of that, and can post those up if anyone wants to see those. Just comment if you do. And anything else too, just in the process of disassembling it, if you'd like to see anything up close or just how things go together, just let me know, and I'll try to do a video and answer any questions like that. So thanks again for watching. Hopefully this video was helpful if you were wondering about that brake issue. And yeah, if there's any other comments or questions, just feel free to leave those. And thanks for watching.